Okay, I'm going to demonstrate the main points of your vehicle that you need to keep maintained in order for your vehicle to run properly. According to Goodyear, they're very car care aware. You need to make sure that transmission fluid is good, your oil is filled, you need to check your antifreeze, which is your coolant, and that is part of your radiator, and then you need to do all four pressures of all the pressure in your tires. You need to make sure that you check that. You need to do power steering, and then you need to check brake. We're going to start with transmission over here. This one is usually going to be labeled with red, so you can definitely look out for that. Not all vehicles are going to be in red, but most of them are. You're going to pull this out, and good thing to remember is the dipstick needs to always be pointed down. And you're going to take this, and then if you zoom in here, there's going to be marks that you need to follow here. And so far, you can see that it's up to here, so we're in the good range. So that is good, so you can just stick that back in there. Make sure it goes all the way down, and that you remember to lock that up. And second one would be your oil. Oil's usually going to be yellow. I'm going to pull that out. Now remember to keep the dipstick pointed down. Going to check that out again, and check this side here. It's got the marks. We're good. We're in the good range there. You can stick that back in there. And then next thing we're going to check is your radiator. Radiator, your first thing that you want to do is make sure that here, this hose has no pressure in it. You make sure you want to squeeze that. If there's pressure, then your vehicle's not cooled down, so you want to make sure that you have your vehicle off when checking this. That way there's no pressure, and when you open this cap here, it's not going to go into your face. So what you want to do is once there's no pressure into that, you can take this, you can squeeze your hand down on it, and then twist. There we go. And if you zoom in here, it's usually going to be green. You can see that in there, so you know that we're full. We've got a little mess going, but that's okay. And then once you know that that's filled, you can just squeeze that, put it back on there, make sure it's tight and on there correctly. And then this here is your backup reservoir. You're going to make sure that if there is no coolant that's in here, that you want to at least have this full. There's going to be marks that are here on the side. When it's hot, you need to make sure that that's filled up there. This is what you're going to need to keep your car running smooth until you can get some more coolant in here. Definitely a major thing to have. And then on this side, we're going to check power steering. And there's also a knob down here. Most things in the vehicle are clearly marked for you, so you know what they are. And you're just going to take that. You're going to open that up, and it's also a dipstick. So you need to make sure that that's pointed down. Here on the sides, you can see we got all the oil going up to there, so we're good there. You can just take that and squeeze it back into there. Make sure that's locked on tight. You want to make sure you always check those whenever you're done. Make sure everything's tight, back to how it was before you got into it. This here is your brake. This is what you need to make sure that you have. You want to make sure that above this line, minimum, it does not need to be behind that. You need to make sure it's all the way up here. So there you can see we're all the way at the top. We're in good condition there. So that's the main parts that are in your vehicle that you need to be maintained. And then one quick thing is your belt here. Your belt is pretty much what's going to run everything underneath your hood. You need to make sure there's no cracks, there's nothing coming off. You need to make sure that that's definitely maintained underneath the hood. And then along here, we're also going to check your tire pressure. And we're going to take a simple tire pressure gauge. And I've already taken this off, so we're just going to take and squeeze this onto here, give it a second, let it come out. Now, what it needs to come to around the rim of your tire, it's usually going to say what it needs to come to. And then you want to compare it to here. So this one should be about 35 to 40. Right now we're a little over 30, so we're in good condition here. And we want to go around to every tire and we want to check that. So we're going to come to this one. Going to screw this off. My hands are a little dirty. And make sure you put these back on once you're done. So we're going to push this back in. Going to set that on there one more time. Push it on there, give it a second. And a little over 30 again. So we need to just go back and squeeze that on. Make sure they're tight and that they stay on your tires. And we'll go around to the next tire. And get the light over here so we can see. Well, my hands are a little slippery. Get that off there, press that back in, take the gauge, One more time. So once again, we're a little over 30. We're in good condition so far. You always want to make sure that your vehicle's up to standard. You never want to be stuck on the side of the road. If you're a younger college girl like me, you're not always going to have men around there. You're not going to always have a mechanic at hand. You need to know that you can take care of your own vehicle. Your vehicle's in your hands. That's your responsibility. We'll check the last tire here. If this one's good, then our vehicle is maintained and we are good to go. Stick that back in there. This one's a little better. Much more above 30 there, so we're in good condition. Get that screwed back on. Alrighty, we've definitely done the basics of making sure that your truck or vehicle is maintained properly. You are a good way to making sure that you can make any trips back and forth to school, back and forth to work. You're definitely in the safety zone.